Good morning to our viewers and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates live here in Port Mall in Scarborough. Right, so we know that today is World Autism Day. We celebrate World Autism Day, and with us to speak to us about yes, autism, but what we do for autistic children here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have Mrs. Tricia Moore West. She is the principal of West Side Prep School. Right. I have to make sure not to mix that up because she has a lot in store for you, a lot of, I would say, excitement, a lot of things coming streamlined on to you to be able to use these services to cater to autistic children here in Trinidad and Tobago. All right. So, Mrs. Tricia Moore West, welcome to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. So, tell us a little bit about who is Tricia Moore West.
Well, Tricia Moore West is first a mom, a sister, a daughter, and principal, CEO of Westside Prep, lover of children.
All right, so you're here to speak to us about Westside Prep and, of course, what to say, your qualifications on what brings you to speak to us about autism and autistic children. So, what are your qualifications? What sets you aside from others who may know a little bit, but you now being the educator of autistic children?
Right. So I was educated in the UK. I left Tobago when I was 19 years old. So I had quite a lot of, at least 20 plus years in education.
Yeah.
So I did my foundation degree in education, teaching and learning.
Yes.
I did my Bachelor of Education with honors in education and also a master's in international education.
Right.
Right. And in those subjects, you will have had to choose a special, not an academic, but a special needs subject, and I chose autism.
Okay. All right. And now that we're moving into Mrs. Moore West telling us a little bit about Westside Prep, let me just introduce you all to a very familiar face to our screens, but here as one of the directors of Westside Prep, and that is Miss Abby Taylor. So good morning to you, Abby.
Good morning. Good morning, Tobago and Trinidad by extension. Hi, Miss West. Sorry I couldn't be with you in person, but I'm here nonetheless.
I'm still happy that you're gracing our screens with your lovely face via VMix. It's okay that you couldn't be here, but you are still with us virtually, and we are happy
Yes.
that you are with us. All right, so I was just getting in with Mrs. Moore West on the Westside Prep School. So I'm asking the both of you, could you tell us a little bit about who is Westside Prep or what is Westside Prep?
If I had to describe West Side in one word, it's love. Um, and I think Miss West would agree with me. It's a place of love. It's a family unit. When kids and parents come into this space, that's almost the first thing that they say. That, this feels like home. It feels like a place where we could literally leave our kids and we don't have to worry about have such loving principal. Miss West is, oh my gosh, she's such a loving person. And I think those are the characteristics that a lot of people look for when they have a child that has special needs and they have nowhere else to go. The first thing that they would turn to or they would look for is a loving person. So West Side Prep is love for us.
So that's Westside Prep on a whole. Westside Prep is
Yes.
love. All right. So tell us a little bit about the goals and the aspirations of Westside Prep. I know that, we had a conversation prior to coming on air. Abby, welcome to that conversation that we are presently having. Yeah. But what are some of the goals and aspirations of Westside Prep that you'd like to share?
Well, for me as a director, I would like to see West Side Prep blossom into a school where you don't have to leave. You don't have to leave to go outside for any kind of services. And I know that is something that we're actively working on. Like our first cohort parents would have said, they wish that their kids could have just stayed until high school, because we have built that relationship with our parents, and we have given that commitment to our students that we are always going to be there. Whether you're a past student, whether you're present, whether you're just seeking out a place that could give that comfort. So definitely our future goals are is high school. We want to have a high school coming on board soon.
Okay.
Outside of that, I think Miss West and all can speak to it. It's just providing good service, because we know our neurodivergent kids are sometimes left as back burner students. I can speak personally for my son. My son too is also autistic, and it was a hard transition for him from pre to primary, and finding a place where could cater to his needs was very hard for me. So finding West Side Prep was godsend. Coming about on Mrs. West was definitely providence. It's nothing but God where that is concerned, and yeah, that's where we're gearing towards.
As the principal of Westside Prep, what direction do you want to see your school going in the future? I mean, you have on with you, Miss Abby Taylor. She is a direct link to, I mean, goals that you would have set forward, as she would have mentioned. But as the principal, where would you like to see your school heading in the future?
Right. So as Abby would have mentioned that, so, in the future, we don't want our children, we basically cry when they graduate and they have to go off. And so it would be nice to have a secondary school, right? A secondary school that caters for the same inclusiveness that we do in the primary. Also to have a kind of collaboration with the education system.
Yes.
The Division of Education, and possibly expand to the education in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right. Okay. So we're speaking about an expansion, you said, to Trinidad and Tobago, but we're looking at our present schools who are, I would say that they have this goal of trying to train the teachers to deal with the autistic children in the classroom. So as a school that deals specifically with autism, would you say that one of your goals would be to train teachers who are presently in the system to deal with autistic children when they do present in the classroom?
Yes, because the notion is that you will hear teachers saying, oh, they're not trained for this, they're not trained for that, and like Abby said, the children are left on the back burners. So I'm not talking about training for teachers just like a short course. I'm speaking about when they do a degree or anything to do with education, they would incorporate that training, proper training into their course, right? Into their degree. So whether it's autism, ADHD, all these different, all these different stuff, so that the teachers will be equipped to help the students and they could reach their full potential.
All right. So Miss Taylor, Abby, would have mentioned that one of the goals would be high school in the future. So who does Westside Prep currently cater to, and what level can you actually introduce your children into the program at Westside Prep?
Well, we are a very integrative school. We don't see separation. We don't see, as a matter of fact, Miss West has trained not just our teachers but our parents to don't say or see special needs. Our kids are normal, average, well equipped and capable children. So we are very integrative. We have prided ourselves on presenting that as a principle, because children have to go out into the society. They have to go out into real life. And there's no need to separate our kids from other students, because they can cope, they are academically aware. As a matter of fact, we don't see special needs at Westside Prep.
Right.
because we understand that at the end of the day, when they turn 18, when they are finished with school, they have to be integrated into society. So why not start now?
Okay. All right. So, Miss Taylor, we know you in a different sphere other than being the director of one of the directors of Westside Prep. So, do you see a partnership between Westside Prep and the Division of Education in trying to move forward in this, in like integrating the school into a primary school system, being one of the schools that, yes, children would be leaving the preschool level. I want to choose a a school that caters for my child's needs in primary school. Are you going to push forward so that Westside Prep is now integrated into a primary school system on a whole?
Well, we will get there one day.
Yes.
We are taking our time in building out who we are as a school and as an institution. Um, of course, there are some things that we are doing in the background to get ourselves to that level. And that's why I said we would get there one day. No doubt about that. Not with a principal, with like Miss West. She's a go-getter, she's a pusher. So we're definitely going to reach that level someday. But for now, we are concentrating on building out programs that cater to our children. We are concentrating on developing our parents because our parents too struggle, sometimes struggle with the notion that, hey, my kid is on the spectrum, my child is on the spectrum. How do I deal with this? So it's also a balancing act between our parents, getting them on board and getting them in the right frame of mind that, hey, my child can do this as well. And I am a testimony to that. I'm a testament to that. Where last year, I think it was around Christmas, my son, he's 8, right? And he's supposed to be in standard 2. He's in standard 1. And I had to keep him back for a year to ensure that, he was at the place where he needed to be to move on from pre-K to primary, right? And I am telling you, had it not been for Westside Prep and had it not been for his personal tutor, I have to give a big shout out to her as well, Miss Nathia Tony of Tiny Fanatics, who would have cultivated an environment of learning for him. He would not be where he's at. And last year when he brought home that B, listen, tears. I was I had to make the post. And it's not because I am a director. It's because one, he's in an environment that encourages learning. Two, he's also is in an environment that is so loving and so caring. I
Yes.
remember when he first started, Miss West said, I was like, Miss West, I don't know. And she's like, no, Abby, Mali can do this. And she does that with every parent. So again, it's not only getting our children in tune, it's bringing our parents on board because it has to be a mental shift. You have to understand that your child can do this too, even if he's on a spectrum, even if she's on a spectrum. We don't see the spectrum, we don't see the special needs. We see a child that has potential, and we are going to foster that kind of energy into something very potent. And that's what I love about Westside Prep.
All right. So just like Miss Taylor, who is actually a testament and not just a director of Westside Prep, I really do hope that parents take the initiative. I was speaking recently with one of the teachers who is specialized in special needs, and she was saying that the increase of autistic children is there. The statistical data shows from 1 in 80 to 1 in 40. So I think parents need to pay more attention to
Especially
that.
among our boy
Yes.
children,
Right?
especially our boys. And sometimes when we see our children acting out at certain age, you have to wonder, is it something like probably this child is on the spectrum and they have never been evaluated, they've never been tested, they've never been assessed. And again, it's because I had a team of people around me that took a critical eye at my son and said, Abby, maybe you should go and get him tested. And I did. And, it revealed that he is on the spectrum. But his doctor also told me, she said, Mommy, I'm not going to tell you what level he's at. He's autistic. Let's deal with it. And that's the
Okay.
kind of mentality that we have at Westside Prep. Okay, your child is on the spectrum. No problem. We would ensure that he or she has the best education ever.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Miss Taylor, Mrs. Westmore, for joining us here this morning. Before we go, I know a lot of parents hearing us, especially being we're celebrating World Autism Day. A lot of parents may be wondering, how can I be enrolled? Who do I contact? Could you share your information so that parents can be involved?
Okay, so parents, the number for Westside Prep is 291-9882. That's 291-9882. So you could give us a call and we would also give you the necessary details. For registration of your child, you need to provide two passport size photo, immunization card, their birth paper, and then there's a registration fee of $500. That is to secure the child's space.
Okay. All right. So, folks, you heard it here. Westside Prep is offering you that space to come and have your child learn, according to Miss Taylor, without that spectrum,
And it's a
without bias.
holistic learning,
It's
eh?
a
It's
holistic
a
learning
holistic
environment.
learning because they do sports. We do.
All right, so we seem to be having some technical difficulties, but Miss Taylor was just going on about the holistic development of Westside Prep. And I know that a lot of parents may be hearing and may be excited about that new journey that their child could partake in. So, Mrs. Westmore, thank you so much for joining us once again, sharing that information with us. And for the parents that are still with us, for our viewers, I ask you to continue to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.